Hello everyone. Today we have stopped in to Lamon's. They are celebrating their 75th anniversary and we wanted to spend some time talking to Joy Lamon and Sherry Kahne about the history of this beautiful treasure of Paducah, what their history is and what's ahead. So let's start with you, Joy.
Okay.
So 75 years. So
75 years.
Family business.
Family business. My mother started the business in 1951 when the plant, the atomic plant, they always called it the atomic plant, began. And there was such an influx of workers, construction workers, who had to build all that out there. And they had no place to stay. You know, the hotel Cobb Hotel filled up really fast. So there was not, there were no places for people, men, not families yet, but men to stay. And people would rent out a room in their house and just, I mean, it's so odd because you think about sharing your house with your bathroom.
Yes.
You know, usually not more than one bathroom, but sharing a bathroom and kitchen and things like that with a stranger,
Yes.
Basically a stranger. People just took boarders in and made a lot of money at it, but they would set up one room and basically needed a bed, a chest for clothes. Back then, a hot plate, like a 2-burner plug-in hot plate to make a pot of coffee or fry an egg or something. Basic, you know, just basics, because you could imagine not having fast food. I mean, I think about it, and you know, did they go into a grocery store and order a bologna sandwich? Well, yeah, probably so.
Yeah. And the interesting thing is all that development out at the plant again. So
yeah, it's come around full circle. We, back before Christmas, we had one lady who has come here from Los Angeles to work. And then I have also have a customer who said that she had been renting to 2 men from, was it North Carolina? North Carolina, I believe. Yeah, it's really basically come full circle. It's amazing. It really is amazing.
Here we have Sherry Kahne with us today, who's your niece.
Right. That's my niece.
And I think everybody in Paducah knows Sherry, but
Yes.
may not know the affiliation that you have with Lamon's and talking about a family business. So you come here and help.
I do. I was actually part of the family since I was born.
She was born
I
in
was
it. Absolutely.
born in Paducah, and I was actually brought home to the first Lamon's Antiques, where the library currently sits. So yes, I know this business and love my family, and it's just a pleasure to get my Lamon's fix down here.
As a toddler, she would go with Mom on buying trips. You know, usually up around St. Louis, and she would sit. And you know, that was before seat belts or anything like that. And she would stand right behind Mom's shoulder. You know, and that she'd just truck right along, just toddling around. You know.
So when you think about the legacy of Lamon's, your legacy to both the store and to our town, what do you hope that people think of when they think of Lamon's?
I can answer that. I think that it is very valuable to just have friends and relationships and know that there's just good people, and you're going to get good service, you're going to get the best that we have to offer. And Aunt Joy took over from my grandmother, Miss Zelphia Lamon, and she's made Lamon's what it is, and she is gave it her all, and that means something. It's that same value that Paducah Bank had. You know, you want to be able to walk in somewhere and know that people are going to treat you right, and that there is something to your word, and you stand for something. So reputation does mean something, and I think we have a good one.
I think we have a good reputation, and I'm so proud of that. That, you know, if you don't have a good reputation, you know, you can't stay in business 75 years. I start to say 50, 75 years and not treat people fairly. You know, you just can't do that. So yeah, I think our reputation is what I value the most. Is just our customers are like our friends, but you know, reputation is everything.
So for somebody that hasn't been in here before, there's furniture, there's dishes, which I love dishes. You may love lamps, but I love dishes. But you also have rugs now that you've added. So there really is something for everyone.
There's something for everyone, all generations, and we're seeing so many younger folks come in, which is just a joy. And I know that many of them have more of a minimalist look to their home, but
Minimal.
they are also finding something to mix in with the modern. And we do have something and a touch for everybody. And we hear that constantly, that they mix it and enjoy.
The younger kids like mid-century. They like that real simple style. They don't like all this fussy, that's just not for them. And Laura, my daughter Laura, that's kind of her specialty. Sherry's specialty is rugs, and Laura loves the mid-century. Well, I grew up with that, and that's just not my cup of tea. So we each have our own little niche here, and that's why it worked so well. We just have a little bit of everything. Sometime you come in, we'll have a lot of antiques and a little bit of good use furniture. And then the next time you come, we'll have a lot of good use furniture and fewer antiques. You just never, there's probably not a day that we don't bring something in different.
And
yeah, I've got my
more
garage
than something
full.
goes out.
So, I have my garage full today. The things that came in last night, the overflow. The last couple of times I've just taken my car out of the garage, and Greg, our mover, just unloads it in the garage till we can make room.
Well, we appreciate all that you do for the community and the beautiful touch you add to so many people's lives and homes.
Well, that's so kind of you. That makes our day.
Yes.
Yeah, we do.
So we hope people, if they haven't been to Lamon's, that they'll come visit on South 6th Street. Is it South 6th Street?
1660.
We're a little bit off the beaten path, but once you find us, we get a lot of return. But they'll say, we were just driving down the street and turned around and came back. We didn't know you were here. We've lived here 20 years and we did not know you were here. But next week they'll be back. So there's a lot of return business.
I don't want to leave without saying, I think an important fact is, my understanding is your grandmother.
My mother?
Her mother.
Grandmother.
Yeah, your mother was one of the first women to hold a business license in Paducah.
Sales tax.
That is an important moment.
And business license.
Yes,
Yeah.
And business license too. But yeah, when they implemented sales tax in the early 60s, I think it's when Kentucky first started collecting a sales tax. She was in the first batch that got a sales tax number.
Yeah, so
it was so small that since then they've had to add a 0 or 2 to the front of it. There's been so many more.
but a lot of girl power here.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Lots of girl.
Yes.
Lots of girl power.
Well,
Lots
thanks
of
for
girl power.
spending some time with us
Thank you so
today.
much.
Yes.
This is so nice. And you made that very simple and easy for me.
Well, and we hope people will come to Lamon's,
Yes.
because if you come once,
We'd love to
you'll
have
come
you.
again.